Yogendra sir, your law minister became a law unto himself. He sees two Ugandan women in a taxi. He decides to stop them. Those women are not sex workers. They had no drugs on them. That was made amply clear in the urine test. They were made to undergo urine on the road. They were called all sorts of racist names, including by your law minister. They were chased across.
I think there are lots of factual assumptions that you have made. Fortunately that night, there were 4 cameras in operation, not 1. Obviously, if the minister was saying something racist, 1 camera should have captured it.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, sir. The word ye log has been caught on YouTube. It is on YouTube, ye log, which clearly implies you are talking for the Africans.
I think a 10-second YouTube clipping doesn't answer the question. What you need to see is the entire thing. The sentence that he's speaking is, my people from my area come and tell me that. Unless you hear that first part of the sentence, people can come and tell me that this person is a scoundrel. I'm not saying this person is a scoundrel. I'm saying someone came and tells me that. On this question, I think what we need, let me come with basics. Racism in any form is not only politically and morally unacceptable, it is unconstitutional in India. 2, no minister can go and raid. Okay, ministerial prerogative should not be violated. And 3, anyone leading a mob to manhandle women or to mishandle them is completely unacceptable. So for all these 3, please produce evidence. I have requested friends in the media, there were 3 media channels that night. I have requested for the evidence. Please provide me one. You can provide it after the show as well.
But I have a structural question, sir. Law minister's job is to draft new laws. Our law minister thinks he's Batman. It's his job to enforce the law. He's out on the streets as a vigilante, trying to chase people down. Somnath Bharti seems to be completely confused about what law minister means. Does the man deserve the job that he has? Why don't you fire him?
Rahul, the word vigilante is used for those people who do not care about law, who say this is morally wrong and I will go and correct it.
That's what he did.
What the vigilantes normally don't do, Rahul, 1, they do not call police before they go to some place. I've never heard of a vigilante who first calls the police. In this case, they did. I've never heard of a vigilante who goes there and says, but there is no woman police, we must have woman police. They did that. I do not normally associate vigilantes with trying to correct illegal things. Vigilantism is about moral things. Why is she wearing this kind of skirt? I'll go and correct it. This is about trafficking and prostitution.
But sir, if I may correct you on a couple of facts, sir, maybe you've slipped on those facts. Number 1, it is your party that then came out with a statement that those 2 girls were carrying condoms with them, which then implied that they were sex workers. That is not an implication. Number 2, sir, the urine test shows they were not carrying drugs, and very importantly, those girls have given a recorded statement before a magistrate saying that your law minister has harassed them. More importantly, sir, if the police have to go on leave because there's a judicial probe, as you say, a neutral judicial probe on, why doesn't your law minister also go on probe?
2 things. Normally, the norm is that someone who is being inquired into leaves because that person should not be in a position to influence the inquiry. In the case of Delhi, and only in the case of Delhi throughout this country, the law minister is in no position whatsoever to, let alone influence the inquiry. In fact, everything...
So how will those cops influence the inquiry?
Because they sit in those offices where the papers come.
So you're saying
they
can influence the judge? A lowly cop can influence the judge, but a sitting minister cannot influence the judge.
There is something called tempering of evidence. If I sit in that thana, if I am the SHO of a thana, from where the evidence will come, and that evidence is what everyone is going to look at. That is why that SHO is in a position to do something which the Delhi law minister is not in a position.
What about the
Bihar law minister
and
would
their
be, Rajasthan law minister
to
would.
Without fear complain against the law minister? If he's the law minister, he's got a position of power and responsibility. If he's not the law minister, those women will feel more empowered to come out and complain against him. I'm surprised, sir.
As was clear by what he said, they actually have complained. So clearly they did not feel...
No, but the point is, there is no parallel. If the officers have to go on leave, so must your law minister, sir.
This must be your belief, but what
now,
you
I'm asking
forget,
you a question.
What you forget is the crucial distinction between Delhi law minister and law minister in any other part of this country.
Let's ask our audience whether you are satisfied with that distinction which is being drawn by the Aam Aadmi Party.
Can I draw the distinction first?
Can we just one second. No,
Can I draw the distinction first?
Yes, let's hear his distinction. Let's hear his distinction, then I want to show of hands.
Law minister...
One second. No, one second.
Law
Yes.
ministers all over the country directly deal with police, are in a position to influence prosecution. They are actually the boss of the prosecution machinery, and police, in a sense, not reports, but police is directly under their influence. In Delhi, law minister has nothing to do with police. Police is not under his influence directly, indirectly, or any such way. Wasn't that very clear?
Okay.